All right, welcome back to episode 5 of the Nueva Vida Group podcast. And today we're going to have a conversation about a topic that's really close to us, and that is real estate on golf courses. Now, that's not just playing some amazing courses around Europe, but it's also going to the clubhouses for meetings. It's everything to do with it. It's driving past the frontline roads with the beautiful views of the courses. It's everything. It's something that ties in really well with our business, which is people purchasing properties abroad, and we look for in that type of acquisition is, are they close to golf courses? Where are the nearest golf courses? Can I become a member? What sort of detail? So we often have to do lots of trips and meetings in those areas, and it's something that we absolutely love.
Tough job, isn't it, having to go and explore and play all these golf courses, isn't it? I think as a business, really lent into that area, and I think we've become specialists really at times in homes on golf courses or close to golf courses. And it's not just because we love playing golf with our clients, but it's also because it just seems to merge so well, doesn't it? And I think the areas where we've become really good and really special at is sort of that Marbella corridor down towards Sotogrande, but also down in the Algarve. So, we've done and developed a villa on Quinta Lago. We love Valdelobo. That whole patch as well is sort of equally as high in status. I don't know about you, mate, but I just love walking out of a beautiful villa and overlooking the front line of the golf course. Is one of the best feelings there is, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's tons of things that resonate with golf courses and properties. And I think, there's so many things that go into that, and it's not just playing golf. It's, there's two kind of key areas. It's the lifestyle, which I would probably say is probably about 40%, but it's also, the more financial and the investment capital strategy that goes with that as well, because frontline golf villas and properties are massively in demand, and there's hardly any supply. I think was a stat that I read the other day that typically a frontline golf, has to be frontline golf. So views onto the golf course are typically 30% more than golf courses, which I say are 5-10 minutes away. So it just shows you the level of, premium that people do that. And, it's not just that, but then, you tie in, is this acquisition going to be purely lifestyle, or is it going to be an investment, or is it a bit of both? Because if it's a bit of both, then, the high rental yields that come into renting out a villa on a frontline golf course, and especially an established golf course, you mentioned it there, parts of the Algarve, so Quinta, north and south, Valdelobo, those people are paying a lot of money to go on 4 or 5 day golf trip. Massive market, and for investors who are looking to buy properties like that, that's a seriously good yield. Look at that over 10 years. That's a really successful strategy, because there will always be a demand for it.
To those things, aren't there? If you list them off, it's that amenities on your doorstep, clubhouse, security, privacy. They're really big, important things. I also think a sense of community. People like golf courses.
They're going to, as a community, they're going to want everything to be landscaped properly. They want to be, everything in pristine condition. So, what a fantastic environment to be in when you're surrounded by like-minded, high net worth people who want, an unbelievable experience all the time. There's 100%. Nothing to say there.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you're buying a frontline golf villa, the likelihood is your neighbour is at the same level as you are.
Yeah. And also, it's a great clients who've joined, and they've gone on to met some really good people, and they're now friends for life, aren't they?
Some of our clients as well have done huge amounts of business as a result of being members of golf clubs and having homes on those golf courses. Yeah, it's an amazing network opportunity. You were going to list off our sort of top 3, weren't you? Our top 3 destinations or places that we really lean into.
Yeah, so at the top, it's very hard, because I did a list just before this, and I think I had 45 golf courses on there. So I've narrowed it down. I'll probably say to 5, but I'll give a top 3. So in third, I think it's got to be the Sotogrande area. I think, the sheer level of courses there. There's 3 or 4. So there's La Reserva, there's San Roque, there's
Inca, Valderrama. Sotogrande Golf Club. The list is absolutely endless, isn't it? But these are championship level courses.
I think the all-round lifestyle experience there as well, I think is what's really good, because you've got to remember, it's not just a golf, it's all about, values, because, if there's tough times, you can always count on properties near golf courses will retain their value, and probably would just appreciate as well.
I think as well, a lot of these homes, especially in Sotogrande, where it's sort of got quite a traditional established market and area over a long period of time, there are a lot of the legacy homes. So these, a lot of families are passing homes down. A lot of families still use them as family holidays. I think Sotogrande as well, for me, I think it's on the up and up. I don't think there's any queries or questions about its values right now, because there's a huge amount of Middle Eastern investment going into Sotogrande, that entire area. And I think over time, it's going to get up to the same levels as sort of Marbella is now. But have its own identity. It's got it's a very different feel, Sotogrande to Marbella, isn't it? It's much more, it's quite, I'd say it's probably quite luxury. There's the polo, there's the paddle clubs, there's the beach clubs, there's the harbour. I think there's a lot of things that differentiate.
It's the word's more pared back luxury, isn't it? I think Sotogrande is that feeling.
It's quite reserved, isn't it? It's not as shouty. And we like a bit of shouty. We also like a bit of reserved. So, it's important to see the difference between the two, isn't it?
Our second has got to be the Algarve, and more specifically the Quinta North and South courses and the real estate around there. I think that's a phenomenal area. I think, there's an amazing a lunch or a coffee club next to the driving range in Quinta, which does the best chicken Caesar salad I've ever had in my life.
I like Quinta Lago. I mean, we know within our client pool, there's a lot of sports and entertainment personalities that have homes there that we work with. And I love talking to them about it, because every time they say, I just love my home in Quinta, and you always ask them why. And it's not big, expensive things. It's actually the privacy and the security that they love the most. I think Quinta is another place with a great community, but a lot of like-minded people. And some of the homes there are seriously special. I mean, there's some mega amazing homes there. Very different. They're not the sort of, you've got traditional style homes, but then there's a lot of contemporary. There's that house that we went to see, Blackbird, isn't there? I mean, that is the epitome of contemporary. Being on Quinta, it suits a lot of people. A lot of our clients, it's a great fit. And there is something for everyone there. I think, if you don't need a villa, there's one Greenway where you could buy a really good apartment or penthouse with great views over the golf course. There's other developments coming down the line, but I think Quinta will for a long time be established and a popular place to have home.
And it was the campus as well. That's a really appealing part as well.
I love the campus. So good.
Yeah, I mean, you've got everything you want there, and it's arguably one of Europe's kind of sporting destinations.
A lot of people say, values reach their peak. I think it's a hard one to judge, because there isn't a great deal of supply. I think if there was a big load of supply coming down the line, you'd probably go, maybe they've hit a momentary high, and we could expect them to cool off over time. But I just think there isn't that influx of supply that's going to change that. No. And I've noticed that a lot of the owners on there, they're pretty wedded to that area. They want to own that home for a long time, 20, 30 years.
Number one, I mean, it's a place that you and I know an awful lot about, and we've lived there, and we've been going there for a very, very long time. That is Nueva Andalucía and the Golf Valley. And that's not just one, that's three fantastic courses. That's Los Naranjos, that's Aloha Golf Club, and that's Las Brisas. And I think overall, this has everything that you want. I mean, the class, you are 5-10 minutes away from all three courses. I think, Los Naranjos holds a special place in our heart. I think it's the clubhouse that's probably the most the best thing about it. I think it's fantastic. I think the community there is really good. And when we stay there and we visit there, we're 5 minutes away, we can just leave our clubs outside, go for a quick lunch, meet someone there, and then play 18 holes of golf. And you're kind of in and out, 4 or 5 hours, and you've done an awful lot. And that's such a good thing to have. And then Las Brisas, I'll say, it's a little bit more kind of exclusive again, but it's beautiful. And the properties that surround that course are phenomenal. And that is your classic kind of Golf Valley home where, the homes there, and we've sold homes there as well. And the views are stunning.
Yeah. honestly, I feel so good when we talk about those areas because, when we were living there and we're there obviously at least once a month, I just always feel at home there. And I think it's great because you're, 40 minutes away from all the other courses we spoke about down in Sotogrande, the big championship courses. But, the homes that we've sold and worked on that are on and around those golf courses are equally spectacular, if not more. They're close to sort of Marbella's Golden Mile. You've got all the sort of walking, all the things that people can do. They're outside of the home. And as you say, a few of the special ones have got direct access to and onto the golf courses. I think there is a really good community as well. I mean, like you say, Los Naranjos, we're not members there, but every time I go, I get welcomed and the people are so friendly and you see people and you have a drink with them and you have a catch up. And then, like you say, you might have a meeting and you go and play golf. You might then go and play paddle after the new paddle club down there. I think, it really is. And I think demand is only going to grow and grow and grow. I feel like brand Marbella and brand sort of Nueva Andalucía is really on the up and up, even more than it ever has been. So, yeah, for me, I agree with you completely. It is number one.
Here's a question for you. What do you think the buyers are specifically looking for in properties in those areas? So, put aside the, ideal direct golf access to the first hole. What, in terms of properties, what are people looking for right now in those types of things?
In Spain, I think we should split it up between Spain and Portugal. So in Spain, and when I say Spain, I mean sort of Marbella all the way down to Sotogrande, the traditional style villa that's been renovated and has all the bells and whistles is what people are looking for. They're not looking for the white box or the ultra modern design. They're looking for something much more traditional. Generally, it's sort of one level or maybe one level with a big master suite on top. Really nice, big indoor outdoor living space, good pool size, all those important things. That style of house, what they're looking for. Yeah. I think inside the house, you've got to have, a really high quality interior design. I think that's really important. People want to see that sort of Scandinavian look and feel. It sells extremely well, but that's because buyers demand that look. I think the amenities in the house are really important. So most of the homes that we've sold have a gym, a spa. I think if you can get a paddle court onto the plot, it's very tough to do, but if you can in some way, that would be great. And I think those things are really important. But ultimately, they've got to feel secure, very private, and actually not too overbearing. I think some of these homes, people will be surprised. Actually, they want something a little bit more lower level. And we've done some work on our project management side of the business on some amazing homes on the golf courses, and they sell really well. I think if you go down to Portugal, especially around Quinta, actually the traditional homes, there are some big traditional homes, and they obviously have a premium and a demand. But actually, it's the other side of it. There's the more contemporary, modern, and I don't mean white box. I mean contemporary designed homes. They now seem to be more appealing. I think having something that's a bit of a point of difference to your neighbour, is actually as equally as important. So it's very different. People are looking for different things. But certainly in Spain, it's traditional style, high look and feel interior design. Portugal, people are looking for that point of difference.
Yeah, no, I think I completely agree. I think just to summarize this now, I mentioned it earlier, but if you're thinking about golf courses and lifestyle and property, I think have a listen to episode 2 that we did, which was discussing up and coming destinations and Comporta. I think the level of golf and the property around there is going to be phenomenal. So check that out. That'll be on the link. I do have to give a shout out to San Roque in Sotogrande. That's probably on a personal level one of my favorite courses, and I'm actually undefeated there. And if someone listens to this who's a member there, they know. I think that's special as well. He knows who he is.
San Roque is my favorite.
I would drive an hour. I would drive an hour there to play it every day. I think that's phenomenal.
Twice a day.
Yeah, the whole the drive-in, the welcome, the atmosphere, the clubhouse, the practice facilities, the course, the views, everything about that place is special. So yeah, we'll finish off that. We're big fans of we're big fans of golf in general, but I would say, Nueva Andalucía, the Gulf Valley, so Las Brisas, Los Naranjos, and Aloha. Quinta, so north and south, you can chuck in Valdelobo in there as well, and then I would say all of Sotogrande. So those are our best.
What we should finish off with: like, subscribe, and let us know if you fancy a round of golf.
Yeah.